This is Daf Yerushalmi Shabbos in the article Oz edition, where on Daf Yud Amr Aleph, the fifth line down, Tani Rebbe Chia, in the film around Daf Ches Amr Aleph, 18 lines down, Tani Rebbe Chia. On Shabbos, even though you're not supposed to do things by the candle, you can look what's in your cup, what's in your plate, and not be concerned. Eats by Mema Shul Shah. Some say it's because it's a short amount of time. With your plate, it's not like an extensive amount of time like by reading. It's my mem name like Sakana. It seems like it's one reason. It's to make sure your plate is clean and you don't come to endanger yourself by eating something inappropriate. What's the difference between the two reasons? The kind of chizrin to clean kind of means to pluck off the bad parts, but it means generally to clean off the lettuce. If you hold, it's because it's a short amount of time, it doesn't require much detailed analysis. This does require more time and is more involved, so therefore it should be also. But the issue is nekis sakana. Obviously, your lettuce also, you want to make sure that you're eating clean lettuce. Rabbi Rabse. So Rabbi Yirmiyah went, even though it says Rabse here, it should be, as the Kormeir changes it, Rab Asi, assumably, this is a contraction. Moshe Katsa Shem Bay. So they Rab Asi poured for Rabbi Yirmiyah a cup, and Rabbi Yirmiyah carefully examined it, evidently to see it was clean. Armalei Bnei say, so Rab Asi's wife said to him, a member of his household said to him, Chamei Ma'ovid, look what he's doing. So the Rab Asi responded to him, Armalei Duhu Noig was she Tase the Rabbo. He's allowed to do that because that's what Rebbe said to do. Tani Rebbe Chia said, "Misaku masha b'kos mashkar ve'eno cheshish." So therefore, his wife was concerned that he was being mishtamish on Shabbos. But Rav Asi assured him that Rabbi Yirmiyah learned Rebbe Chia's statement, and that's why he is allowed to do so on Shabbos. The article points out that Rabbi Yirmiyah was not necessarily direct on Rebbe Chia, but the Sefer Tolos Tanei V'Amoraim says that several times Moroi Eretz Yisrael could sit Talmidei Rebbe Chia, even though they didn't learn from him directly, since they conduct themselves based on his psukim. In the Bavli, on your base on base, the story is brought down differently. There, the Shamish Rabbi Yirmiyah is checking the cup, and Rav Asi said to his wife that the Shamish is like the Shita of his Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Yirmiyah said it's mutter. Okay, Leikra lo arnei should not read by the night of a candle. Shmona lo shano ela echad. There's only one person. Hashnaim, but two people. Marchin shchalon chod zel zeh mutter, since they could protest each other. If one comes to change the flow of the candle, it's okay. Maslisi pliga lovi. So this is Mishnah argues on this brisa argues on Shmuel. Echad haner sheyochel atoso, ve'echad haner she'en yochel atoso. It says whether it's a candle which you can adjust, or a candle can't adjust. So it seems that it's like a xera. You can't use light of a candle even if adjusting is not an issue. The Ula Bar Shmuel b'Shov Shem said afilu kama. Along those lines, he said even if you have several people together, you can't read by the light of a candle. I'll die to Rebbe Les, according to Rebbe Les, I feel about kama, even if it's very high up, you can't adjust it. I feel less of a bias echad, even if it's in one house. There's another kirsa here, acher, but it means a different house. So change the girsa. The article brings down to change girsa to acher. I feel nothing but spikila, even if it's in a spikila in a lantern, which evidently is closed up. So nevertheless, okay. Say Tani Shemishkach V'Yater. What's the concern? The concern is the person might forget and come to adjust the candle. Amar Yishmael said, "I need a kavaloto." So the Bavli, but Yishmael said, "I'll read and I'm not going to adjust the candle." But Shachach, and he forgot. For Karav Latos, and he was close to adjusting it. Farmer said, "How great are the words Chamish Amu Shema Yishkach V'Yater?" Person might come to forget and incline adjust the candle. And he told some mama she actually did adjust the candle. Because he wrote on his Pinchas, on his ledger of Amar say Shmuel ben Elisha Yitan Erev Shabbos. Elisha adjust the candle Shabbos. She brought it based on Bayis Yechayev Chatos. when the Beis Hamikdash is built, he has to bring a korban chatas because he adjusted the fire on Shabbos. Brings down the question from Erkosh Baruch maybe Takoli de Tzadikim. Shmuel doesn't bring stumbling back to Tzadikim, brings two answers. One reason is from the Tes Russian Ritva because he was over on Divrei Chachamim. So that's a Shmir, because Chum said you shouldn't read Shemayate. And the others say that Tes elsewhere, elsewhere it says that the Shmir is only on Shalevot Takoli Adav. It's only on Minyani Macholos. It's only not to eat treif, but it's not a shmir from any other type of ma'aser. Okay, time along these lines. Time and we looked over there. Don't believe in yourself a day of your death. Don't trust yourself. We see Rabbi Shmuel Bar Elisha. So Zachasi was sitting and learning. Don't believe he learned it not ad yom secha. He learned ad yom ziknu secha. Don't believe in yourself until your day you become old. If you're ani, such as me, I'm old. I'm not going to sin anymore. And the assumption was he wouldn't be enticed by a riot, by a potential temptation by a woman. Asas rucha rucha v'nasi say. So certain spirit came in the form of a female to test him, and he wasn't over but he saw it. And he started feeling remorse, being astonished about what he did, and he felt bad about it. Amalese said, I'm not sure if he actually did Avera or he was tempted to Avera. Sounds like this. He did Avera because Amalei, the spirit said, Loti Tok, don't feel anguish. Ruachan, I'm just a spirit. In other words, it wasn't true of my Sabiyah, since I'm not a human being. However, Ezel, go, and learn like your friends. In other words, so say, Yom Moscha, not at Yom Ziknu Secha, because you're an old man and you still were able to be tempted. So therefore, never trust yourself until the day you die. Okay. But Emes Amru. So it's in our Mishnah. Be'emes Amru Chazan Roe Hechon Tinokos Korim. The Chazan can look where the Tinokos are reading. So the Amr was Kol Makom Shoshinu Be'emes Halacha L'Moshe Misinai. Anytime it says Be'emes, it's Halacha L'Moshe Misinai, which is of course pretty difficult over here because there's not really Halacha L'Moshe Misinai. So the Yerushalmi Shabbos brings down from the Aruch an interesting girsa. And we know that a lot of times Chazal say that Halacha Moshe B'Sinai, the Mefarshim say Halacha Moshe B'Sinai is lav dafka, but it's something which is oisgalten, something which is we know is clear cut, definitively true, as if it's Halacha Moshe B'Sinai. But this case of the Aruch is fascinating because it's expressed even more clearly Halacha L'Maisa B'Sinai. This is something which is L'Maisa as if it's B'Sinai. Okay, so this is Mao Mitakin Rashi Prakim. It said in the I'm sorry. The Lashon Mishnah was Roa Hechna Kotinokos Korin. So Mao, what is that? Mitakin Rashi Prakim Piskin. So he fixes the Rashi Prakim. In other words, Piskin. He makes the he tells them where to interrupt, where to stop, how to punctuate. That's what it's about. Punctuate the psukim. So, Kohen son of B'Mfarshim, including the article, it's a separate statement here. It's not going back on the Chazan in the Rohecha Tinokos Korin, but it's the Chazan is looking at the like Charbei puts it, Paskin Eza Tevas Moshe Moshe Parsha. He enumerates how many words in the beginning of the parsha. Tochen Niska B'Kula Macha in order to remember the next day Messiah Shiva Zakurim and to recall to help the Shiva people. Some people that Aliyah Kurim B'Kula Taimim who are going to read. So we're helping them with the vowelization and the trop, the cancellations, silently. But I think the Pasha shot in the Gemara is that it's going back on what the Chaz is doing. And Mahu, what is he doing? Misakim Rashi Pakim. He tells them, he fixes them for the Rashi Pakim. Paskim, he tells us the punctuation, right? Kol pasuk lo paskim Moshe lo paskin. We need to know the punctuation, the important part of learning. So he's not really reading with them. He's telling the kids, this is where you interrupt, this is where you punctuate. Maybe that's nachtos or pasuk, etc., etc. So the Gemara says, "My kadun." What's interesting language here? My kadun. What's the conclusion? But we hear it's more like, why should we mutter? So the Elaine boy did for Putina, but in low boy did for Putina. So the Moshe says the machlok is between the kids. There are those who want the candle to be to go out on its own, and there are those who don't want it to go out on its own. In other words, those who want the candle to keep on learning, those who don't want to keep on learning. So they're going to make them out. They're going to argue with each other, and therefore nobody's going to come to incline the adjust the candle. The Korban Eda says, and the Yerushalmi also brings this down, that the I don't know what this word is, the Korban Eda, latuye, shiadlik. But in any event, the Yerushalmi says more elaborately, they want to get away from reading. And they want the candle to be extinguished. We know that they're not going to allow the we know they don't want the candle to be adjusted. So therefore, the Korban Yerushalmi says Korban Eda, and he is saying he's quoting the Rabbeinu Nisim Gaon. He says Korban Eda means the same thing, that the children want the candle to go out. The Chazan doesn't want the candle to go out, but the kids are going to win the day, or at least they're going to remind the Chazan that he shouldn't adjust the candle because they want to make sure that it goes out. So therefore, even if the Chazan comes to adjust it, even because it doesn't want to go out, they'll remind him it's going to go, and he'll make sure not to adjust it. So according to that, Elin boy yadfu botzina means the kids. V'Elin and the Chazonim lo by the yadfu botzina. Although it's a little bit difficult. Maybe it does make sense because it sounds like we're talking about these and those on the same level, not the children and the Chazan, but the children and the children. So, okay. Either way, the point is that there is going to be friction, and that's enough to prevent the candle being tampered with. Okay, so then the Mishnah said, the Mishnah Chayotze Bo, Haloy Chazar Mizolim Ne Hergel Avera. Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, Re'ei Hare Echon Porza Tara. So the by the way, I shouldn't have seen this. The Korban Eda is the one that said explicitly, Elaine Achazonim Rotzim Shlo Yichal Ner. Right, so therefore, it's the Elaine. Itaka says the Elaine and Elaine are the kids and the Chazonim. Again, it's Masha named Moshe. The kids are arguing with each other. Okay, back to for going further. Kietzibo, Chulei Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Re'ei Echon Porza Tara. See how extensive Tara became in Am Yisrael. Shneimar Kimat Asher Hayolacha Lefanai B'Yifrotz Larov. This is, I believe, Lavan talking when he says, "I had very little before you came along, Yaakov, and now it became much more extensive." So the Korban Eda says, "I de Taroso Shel Yaakov." That's Yaakov's Tara. That's how there became much more expansiveness in the house of Laban. But the Prussian translate, the article has it that we're just trying to explain the word porza. And Heichon porza, the Rishim Elazar statement, Heichon porza Tara. And now the one is saying, and how we know that porza means to expand in a positive way. Shema Kimata, Shoyova, the Fonai, Vefrotzlov, and that's the next pasuk, similarly from the Divrei Yomim, Ubeis, I was saying, Partzul Arov. So the bottom line is we're talking about expand. These means expansiveness. Something expanded a lot. The Gemara says why. How do we see it from our Mishnah? Because shlokas l'mash lochal tori matame. They didn't make a gzeira that a Torah person shouldn't eat with a tame person, lest the tame be matame what the Torah is eating, because that it was upcorrect. That was well known. That for sure would not happen. Ela Amr, they said le'ochel zavim azava, that a zav and a zav should not eat together, because they might come to actually then. Since they're both tame, they might come to interact with each other. Hazavim mitzuras mutar, the inference. Well, actually, it's a statement. There's a mitzuras. The halacha is allowed to have relations with her husband. A mitzora is not allowed to have relations with his wife. So a zav with a mitzoras would be mutter. The zav also is not also to have relations with his wife. A zav is not allowed to have relations with her husband. A zav is allowed to have relations with his wife. So a zav is allowed to have relations with a mitzoras, who's allowed to have relations, is mutter. He's got to sit outside his tent. He's not allowed to have relations with his wife. But if she is in the mitzoras, she's allowed to have relations with her husband. Mitzorim zava aser. Mitzora, however, with a zava is aser, and just like zav and zav are aser, they're both aser to have relations. But we're afraid that since they're both tamei, they might come to they would eat together. Even at the time when parts of Torah be so, that would help with the Torah, but tamei, but not mitzora with the zava. Therefore, they should not eat together without a heker. And similarly, mitzoras also again because they're both tamei and he's also to have relations. So therefore, they are also. Okay, so now it says Martani Beishamarim lo yachal zav parush im zama ozama oretz. Zav, who's a parush, who's normally keeps hilchos tumah tara, should not eat with a zav zama oretz. With a zav who is an am oretz who doesn't normally keep hilchos tumah tara. Beisil permitted. My time in the Beisil, why Beisil permitted? Zezav is Zezav. At this point in time, they're both Zavim. My time in the Beishamai, why Beishamai forbidden? Since they get accustomed to eat together on days when they're Tomei, they'll get accustomed to eat together on days when they're Tar, and the Zav Amoritz is not meticulous in the halachas of Tumah Tara, and therefore, even when he's Tar, he's suspect to be Tomei. Rabbi Chia Ruba Fakir Rav. Rabbi Chia Ruba told his nephew Rav, he directed him, if you can eat the entire year chulin b'tara echol. And if not, shiva yomin mitzata. If not, eat 7 days a year in Tara. So the Karmeina says the 7 days are 7 days Shiva Yom Kippur. I say it's to make tshuva. And you have to warn about Rosh Hashanah because it's obvious that he's going to eat B'tara Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur's not eating anyway, but he's going to eat on Rosh Hashanah B'tara because Chai B'tara Tara starts Mo B'Regel. The Pnei Moshe says something similar, but the Yerushalmi Shabbos brings down that the 7 days in the year could be going on the days of Yom Tov themselves in Eretz Yisrael, right? Because Chai B'tara Tara Mo B'Regel. He's saying the 7 days a year, and lav dafka 7 days, but those 7 days out of the year, which are Yom Tov, those days you're chayav to retire yourself, chayav and retire yourself. Those days, try to eat your chulin b'tara if you can. Okay, Mikan Pinchas ben Yair Omer. From here says Kobreda Midna Lo Echad Zayim Azam Ne'er Gaber Fimei Zehiros Misrachim Min Avera. For the fact that we have learned this Zehiros from Avera in our Mishnah. So Mikan Ayare Pinchas ben Yair Omer Zrizus Mebile De Nekius. The diligence, which is the diligence of our separating oneself from Averos, being careful, meticulous in separation, brings a person to cleanliness. Cleanliness from Averos, obviously. Nikius Mevioli De Tara. This cleanliness brings a person to Tara. Tara Mivei Kedusha is a very famous brisa, of course, appears in several places. Tara brings the Kedusha, the purity brings the holiness, Kedusha Anova, the holiness brings to humility. Another day, humility brings to fear of sin. Yiras fear of sin. Ruach Kodesh brings a person to divine divine revelation. Ruach Kodesh, divine revelation. Day Chasidus brings a person to piety. Chasidus brings the day Tchias HaMesim. The piety brings to Tchias HaMesim. Tchias HaMesim brings the day Elio Zichron LeBracha, and Tchias HaMesim will bring to Elio HaNavi, to the Pashut Pshat is that the Kormeda says that firstly, Dei Chasidus says Shachas Nikra Ish Kfar Zochel Mal Ruach HaKodesh. Chasidus says is very Zochel Ruach HaKodesh. He perished at some Kol Tavos Gufanios. He separated himself from all physical pleasures. Dei Chasidus. That's why he got the Chasidus. And Ruach HaKodesh came when he separated himself from the physical pleasures. Comes to Chesed Mason, which only comes as a great reward and with great difficulty, as comes to Chasidim, as suffered by the Chasidim Elyon, and then the days of Del Yo Shkonim Atchia Chwen Yavol Yo. So it sounds like, and the main point I wanted to make was actually the last point. Sounds like even though it says Tchias HaMesim means to Elio, sounds like, well, Elio brings the Tchias HaMesim. So the I think that he's talking. He learns Tchias HaMesim being the Tchias HaMesim of the level, and the way the art scroll has it is after your Zochel Ruach Kodesh Daniel Persian types of this world. That's how you came to Dei Chasidus, right? That's how you call it. The Chasidus brings Tchias HaMesim. The Chasid gets up at Tchias HaMesim. The Tchias HaMesim brings the BSL Yo Zochel Toiv. And again, there's that difficulty that Elio comes in fourth Tchias HaMesim, but the other Mefarshim say that it means that it says that some lashon, I forget which one of the Goyim said to the Amoraim, in other words, somebody, a great scholar, a great Talmid Chacham, has the capacity of Chaim, if they got to the level of Chasidus, they have the capacity of Chaim Mesim individually, and then they can get to the level of Gilui Elyo. So this is the idea of having a Gilui Elyo is at the top of the scale, not chronologically in the world at the end of time, but in a person's lifetime at the time of the Amoraim when they were rugged and Gilui Elyo. So then a person got to Madrega being able to be Chaim Mesim, at least Kabiyachol, if they the circumstances were correct, and then they also reach the level of finally being Zoicha to Gilui Elyo. Okay, that's not the way the Psukim are going to play out when we get to the Psukim necessarily, but that I think is the pshat in this sequence here. Now we're being down Psukim for this. So usually in the Kius, Vikila, Vikiper. So these are all the various different psukim which are bringing down to prove these points. First, Vikila. It's a lot easier for me if I look at the art scroll to get to the psukim. It says, Vikila mikaper HaKodesh Omei V'Bez Mizbeach. And then it says, V'kiperes Mikdash HaKodesh V'Omei Mizbeach Kaper. So first they do Kila. So Kila means that you finish doing the proper avodah, means that you're meticulous in your zrizus, right? Because the Kohanim was, especially the Kohanim was name. The chiper, and then you're clean. Kapara is leshon the kiyus. And the kiyus from Aver brings the day tahara. It says chiper le'akoyim v'tohera. And then tahara brings the day kedusha. It says v'tiaro v'kicho. And kedusha means the day anova because it says in Yeshaya, and then Zayin Kikar Mar Ramani saw this, what the lofty and high one said, Shochein Ad, he who dwells eternity, V'kadosh Shemo, whose name is holy, Marom V'kadosh Eshkol V'estakosh Shvaruach. I will dwell Marom V'kadosh and with Dakon Shvaruach, so Dakon Shvaruach is only a higher level than Kedusha. Another the day Yiraschet, the day Yiraschet, receive Ekev Anava, an account of Anava, Right? Ekev here means on account of anava, Yiras Hashem. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Elazar, Yitzchak bar Elazar said, Masha Asa is very important, Yerushalmi. Masha Asa is Chachma Atar LeRosha. That which Chachma made a crown for its head, Asas Anava, Ekev L'Suyasa, Anava makes a heel for the bottom of its sandal, the sole of its sandal. The Chsiv, it says, Reishis Chachma Yiras Hashem, the Chachma, the Yiras Hashem is the Reishis over the Chachma. Right, the Reishis of Chachma, like the top, the beginning of Chachma, it's like the Keser, it's on top of the Rosh, it's the Reishis above the Chachma. So too the Reishis Chachma is Hashem, that's a Keser LeRosha, and Ekev Anava Yiras Hashem, but the heel of Anava is Yiras Hashem. So therefore, Yiras Hashem is only the heel of Anava. So the Yiras Hashem is a tremendous madrega, and Chachma is supposed to lead Yiras Hashem. That's the pinnacle of the Chachma is Yiras Hashem. But Yiras Hashem is nothing compared to Anava. Anava is the ultimate madrega, and therefore it's the Yira is an Ekev to Anava. Okay, there's more left in the derivation, but it's a long day, so it's been a long day, and we're already on Yudaf from Ralph, so we'll stop here for today.